Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Thru Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Do you do spring cleaning? Do you have any clean out rituals?
I don't. I'm just I can't sit down long, so I get up and just start doing things. So it's just a never ending, hey, could you just sit down? My wife says.
That's like me and my husband would say, I'm so fidgety, I can't sit still for 5 minutes. That's why I like to clean out.
If I see one dish in the sink, it's like my eyes start rolling around. I have to go over there and either, if it's clean dishes in the dishwasher, drives me crazy.
Got to put them up. Same.
Got to put them up. She hasn't got to it yet. I'll get to it. Oh,
simpatico. I see you.
First
I
thing
hear you,
this
Bryan.
morning. That's it. We usually wash them at night. There's a little red light that shines on the floor while it's running, a little green light on the dishwasher. And if I look over and see that green, I can't walk past it. Whatever I'm tempted to do, I have to pull it out, do it right there.
I'm with you. When it comes to cleaning out all those little things, the stuff, the clutter that's all around us. I was making fun of my husband because he has this thing where, I need to get a new phone. And he's like,
makes fun of me all the time. You carry on.
We do. I want to get a new phone. My phone's old and it's just running slow. And he's like, well, let's not turn in your old iPhone because I want to keep it and I can use it he uses it for his stereo setup or something. And I turned around and looked at him and I pulled open my desk drawer and I pulled out 2 old iPhones that have been sitting there because he wanted me to keep them rather than trading them in and getting the money back for him. And I'm like, look at me, sir. We're turning this phone in because you never do that thing that you think you're going to do with these old phones. And I now have a stack of phones and old laptops are just piling up, Bryan. The stuff in the clutter is very real. And technology, you would think it would help you as far as cleaning up and clearing out. But for so many of us, just the amount of photos that we have saved on our phones, thousands.
And don't do that. I'm in the process. I'm working with Apple directly.
Yeah.
Because when I switched phones, they lost a couple of thousand. And it goes all back to my girl bill. But they said we can retrieve them. So we're going through a process that's like a month long.
Oh, geez.
And then they'll email them to me so I can store them like that instead of and I don't know the reason why. They tell me technology reasons why it happened. And I go, I'm deer in the headlights.
Wow.
And I'm like, can we fix it? That's all I care about.
Give me the solution.
In my mailbox. And so I'm waiting like a week to change a password so that they can do it. And it's all happened when I switch phones. So don't do that. Don't do that. Switch phone.
Consider yourself warned.
Download that stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Piedmont Triad, if you're getting ready to get a new phone like I am, first make sure that your phone's backed up. Wow.
Email it to yourself, back it up, whatever it takes. And I really made a mistake. And it's just like a stress land. So don't do that. And it's kind of like retirement. We're talking about that today.
Yeah.
Numbers. What should you do first? And that's one of the things I didn't know to do. And that's why when you meet with an advisor, they say, hey, you got to be careful if you do that.
Yep.
This could happen. That could happen.
So many things can happen, but that's why you're here to help us plan for the things that might come our way, Bryan. Let's talk about the technology, how it's changed. Things were easier back in the 80s, certainly less expensive. However, it was in the 80s that answering machines became more common in homes. Also, that's when cell phones first started popping up all the way back in the 1980s. What did we do before we had this little brick that we are now tethered to by some sort of technology leash? One wonders. This is comedian Brad Upton about phones and technology over the years.
People used to call us. We didn't know who it was. Remember the phone would ring? You would run to answer it. You pull your hamstring getting to the phone. Now you hear that thing ring, you go, oh, whatever. And do you know why you would run to the phone? Listen to this. Because if you didn't get there, there were no answering machines. Look at you looking at me like, no way. And then you didn't know. You did not know. You'd stare like, who was that? And then, listen to this. You had to call all your friends on numbers that you stored in your head. All the old people in here, they know the number of the house they grew up in. Am I right? Yeah. Now do you know your spouse's number? No. Phones are smart. We're not.
I do remember my home phone number growing up. Do you remember your home phone number growing up?
299-4203.
All of us.
Does that answer your question?
Somehow I feel like a lot of people also have somehow ingratiated the phone number from their childhood into all the password hieroglyphics that we're now required to keep up with. And speaking of things that we do or don't memorize in the way of passwords and all the things we're expected to remember, because very rarely do we have any phone numbers memorized except for a couple of emergency ones. What are numbers, though, that we should know clearly in our head as we get closer to and into retirement?
You know, the biggest one is monthly income.
Okay.
Number one is monthly income. What is my monthly income between Social Security, any pensions I may have, drawdowns on different accounts? What does that number look like? And is it surplus? Those two numbers. Do I have surplus income in retirement? Mm-hmm. That's really number one. Okay. And then why would I need that? Well, I got to feather my bucket. But also, do you have debt? That's a big number to know. Know that debt number, or hopefully you don't have debt, right? Just depends on your overall circumstance. Some people, you know, I got a client that owns a several hundred apartment. You know? So he's like he never retires. He owns it. It's managed by someone else. He has a cash flow, really strong cash flow. It's going to stay strong, especially the way the population grew. But, you know, it's really just knowing what is my situation. Yeah. How much income do I have coming in and what do I got to pay out just for the basics? And then beyond the basics, live the lifestyle I want. What does that cost? And at the end of the day, do I have money left over in my pocket? Because happens. And that's really, those two big numbers are it. You got to know, you know what else you got to know? And this client of mine just mentioned this the other day, you know, how long am I going to live? Mm-hmm. How long am I going to live? Am I going to live 10 years? Am I going to live 20 years in retirement? You know, I want to bounce my last check. Well, you don't want to get that wrong. Because if you live another 8 or 9 years, You're living off of just Social Security, you're broke, you're living with the kids, that kind of thing. So it's understanding what are the chances of me living to X. And clearly, you don't know exactly how long you're going to live, but what are the odds, right? You got to play the odds. And I think longevity is a big thing to think about. When's the best time for me to file Social Security? If you remember one of our shows, we talked about that couple that, they were going to wait to take Social Security so they have more so they could pay off their debt when they retire. I said, you're 2 years from retirement. When you're 67, you can go ahead and start taking your Social Security. In their case, I think it was 66 and 10 months to be exact. But the bottom line is this. You're at full retirement age. Go ahead and take your Social Security and pay off your debt with this extra Social Security. But won't that raise my taxes? No. And what it turned out to be is that it gave them an extra after they got all their debt paid by taking Social Security the last 2 years they worked. Mm-hmm. They were able to pay off all their debt, and they freed up $2,400 more a month of income that's now coming to them. That's a big deal when your income's in the neighborhood of $6,000 or $7,000. $2,400 is a huge raise, right? And a lot of pressure off. So knowing that debt number, knowing when you take Social Security, if you're still working and you're eligible for Social Security, in other words, you're at full retirement age, do you go ahead and take it then because I have some debts, or I want to stockpile some reserve funds, whatever it may be. There's a lot of variables that go with that. But RMD age, is it 73 for you? Required minimum distribution. Let me step back. Folks, 336-586-5861. The numbers we're talking about, a lot of you going, yeah, I know that number. But do you really know its significance? Do you know how to determine the best time to take your Social Security? Do you know how to determine, should I pay off this debt or should I not? That's what we do. That's what an advisor that specializes in retirement does. They put together a plan that takes care of these little termites, if you will, that can destroy our retirement. Folks, 336-586-5861 here at Gaiser Financial Group, Dolly Madison Road, right off of Friendly Avenue. Been here for over a decade in just this spot. I love what I do. In a little over an hour, around an hour, you get that much knowledge. You feel that much better about retirement when you're going to select your Social Security. You tell me what that's worth to you. 336-586-5861. Give us a call. They will set a time for you. Be happy to sit down and give you my time, and I promise you I won't waste your time. But it really is. Knowing numbers are what it's all about in retirement, right?
Yep.
You just don't want it. Trust me, if you're going to be successful, you're going to have money left over and your bucket list is going to be really thin, right? You're going to be scraping the bottom of the bucket when you retire and retire successfully. I can't say it enough. So 336-586-5861. You know, what tax bracket are you going to be in? Those kind of questions. Healthcare, how much is it going to cost for your Medicare? What's it going to cost you every month? Withdrawal rate, how much should I draw off my money? Or should I create a pension of my own that's available to me? And I didn't even know it was available to me because my company doesn't have a pension anymore. What is that debt number? Folks, be smart about it. Let's go down the list. Let's check off all the most important numbers you should know. Give us a call, 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Thru Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.